The 2009 Lincoln Bicentennial log cabin penny is not just a coin. It is a lesson, it is a story, it is a piece of American education pressed into copper. When most people look at this coin, they see a small house, a simple log cabin, a quiet design, but what they are really looking at is the beginning of one of the most powerful stories in American history. This coin does not represent wealth, power, or royalty. It represents poverty, struggle, learning, and growth. It represents a child born into hardship who rose through knowledge, discipline, and character. Abraham Lincoln was not born into comfort, he was born into simplicity, into isolation, into hard labor, into limited education. His world was small, but his mind was not. The log cabin on this coin is not a decoration, it is a symbol of humble beginnings, a symbol of rural life, a symbol of learning without schools, a symbol of education without classrooms. Lincoln learned through books he borrowed, through candles he burned at night, through self-teaching, through curiosity, through discipline, and through hunger for knowledge. This coin teaches one of the most powerful educational messages in history. Education does not depend on buildings, money, or privilege. Education depends on mindset. The log cabin represents a classroom without walls, a school without teachers, a library without shelves. It shows that learning begins where effort begins. The U.S. Mint created this design to teach history through art. Not through words, not through books, but through imagery, a small coin that carries a big lesson. This coin was released in 2009 to honor 200 years since Lincoln's birth, but instead of celebrating power, the design celebrates beginnings. It teaches that greatness starts small, that leadership starts in learning, that progress starts in education. The log cabin is not fancy, it is not detailed, it is not dramatic. And that is intentional, because Lincoln's life was not born in luxury, it was born in simplicity. The wood logs represent hard work, the structure represents stability, the open door represents opportunity, the simple roof represents protection. Every detail is symbolic. This coin is an educational tool for children, students, teachers, collectors, and historians. It teaches that history is not built by kings. It is built by people. It teaches that leaders are not born powerful. They are built through learning. It teaches that education is not about schools alone. It is about curiosity, discipline, and self-growth. The 2009 log cabin penny also teaches economic history. It was made during a time of financial crisis, a time when people were losing homes, jobs, and stability. And yet this coin reminded people that hardship is not the end of the story. Hardship is the beginning of growth. That is powerful symbolism. This coin connects personal growth with national history. It connects childhood with leadership. It connects education with destiny. In classrooms, this coin becomes a teaching tool. Teachers use it to explain Lincoln's early life. Parents use it to teach children about hard work. Collectors use it to teach history. Historians use it to explain social development. It is not just a collectible, it is an educational artifact. The log cabin penny teaches patience. It teaches humility. It teaches resilience. It teaches self-belief. It teaches that learning is a lifelong process. It teaches that greatness is not inherited, it is earned. When students see this coin, they learn that success does not start with privilege, it starts with effort. When collectors hold this coin, they hold a story of transformation. When historians study this coin, they see a narrative of social mobility. When educators use this coin, they teach character. This is why the 2009 log cabin penny is important, not because of price, not because of rarity, not because of metal, but because of message. It is one of the few coins in modern history designed for education first, collecting second. It shows that coins can teach values, not just history. It shows that money can carry meaning, not just value. It shows that a small object can hold a powerful lesson. The log cabin penny is a reminder that every great journey starts somewhere small. Every leader starts as a learner. Every success story starts in struggle. Every future begins with education. This coin does not celebrate Lincoln the president, it celebrates Lincoln the student. Lincoln the child, Lincoln the learner, Lincoln the reader, Lincoln the dreamer. It teaches that knowledge builds nations, education builds leaders, learning builds futures. The 2009 Bicentennial log cabin penny is not just a coin. It is a classroom, it is a lesson, it is a message, it is history in your hand, it is education in copper. It is a reminder that no matter where you start, you can rise through learning, through discipline, through effort, through belief. And that is the true value of this coin, not money, not market, not price, but meaning. Because the greatest wealth is knowledge and the greatest power is education. The 1996 Lincoln penny may look like an ordinary modern coin, but in reality it is a quiet teacher of history, economics, society, and education. It doesn't teach through loud design or dramatic imagery. It teaches through presence, through circulation, through everyday life. This coin represents a generation, a system, and a lesson about how money connects people, education, and society. In 1996, the world was changing rapidly. Technology was growing. Communication was transforming, economies were globalizing, education systems were expanding, and yet something remained constant. The penny, the smallest unit of American currency, continued to move through millions of hands every single day. Children used it for school lunches, students used it for notebooks, workers used it for change, families used it for daily life. The penny remained a symbol of accessibility. The 1996 penny teaches that money is not just wealth. It is participation. It allows people to be part of an economy regardless of status. It allows a child and a business owner to use the same system. That is a powerful educational lesson. This coin was minted in Denver, which is why it carries the D mint mark. But beyond the mint mark, it carries meaning. It represents the American monetary system in action. It shows how coins move constantly, how they connect cities, people, businesses, and communities. It teaches circulation. It teaches distribution. It teaches economic flow. Students can learn from this coin how currency travels, how economies function, and how systems depend on trust. The Lincoln portrait itself is a lesson in leadership education. Lincoln represents learning, self-discipline, growth, and moral development. He was not born into power. He was built through learning. That message remains relevant in every generation. The coin becomes an educational symbol of growth through knowledge. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse teaches national memory. It teaches respect for history. It teaches remembrance. It teaches that nations preserve values through symbols. The 1996 D penny becomes a bridge between past and present, between history and modern life, between education and daily experience. In classrooms, this coin becomes a learning tool. Teachers can explain how money is made, how mints work, how designs are chosen, and how circulation happens. Students learn about supply, demand, production, and distribution. They learn how small units of currency form large economies. They learn how trust creates value. They learn that money only works because people believe in the system behind it. The 1996 D penny also teaches responsibility. It teaches saving. It teaches budgeting. It teaches patience. Many children learn financial habits using pennies. Jars, piggy banks, collections, and savings often start with pennies. This coin becomes a child's first lesson in financial literacy. It is often the first coin a child owns, the first coin a child saves, the first coin a child collects. That makes it educationally powerful. It also teaches historical continuity. The design connects generations. Parents recognize it, grandparents recognize it, children recognize it. The same Lincoln face connects decades of Americans. That continuity teaches national identity. It teaches shared history. It teaches cultural memory. The 1996 D penny also teaches environmental education. It is made of copper-plated zinc, showing how material science adapts to economic needs. Students learn how metal composition changes based on cost, availability, and sustainability. They learn that money is not just design but engineering. They learn that currency evolves with society. This coin also teaches the value of small things. In a world focused on big numbers, big money, and big success, the penny teaches that small units matter, that systems are built from small pieces, that progress is made through accumulation, that small efforts create big results, that consistency builds value. This is a powerful educational philosophy. The 1996 D penny is also a lesson in equality. Everyone can hold it, everyone can use it, everyone can access it. It does not belong to the rich or the powerful. It belongs to everyone. That makes it a symbol of shared economy, shared participation, shared responsibility, shared value. For collectors, it teaches preservation. Condition matters, care matters, storage matters, respect matters. It teaches responsibility toward history. It teaches protection of cultural artifacts. It teaches that everyday objects become historical records over time. This coin also teaches time. A coin minted in 1996 becomes a historical object simply by surviving. It shows how time transforms ordinary objects into educational artifacts. It teaches that history is not only ancient, it is ongoing, it is living, it is being created every day. The 1996 D Lincoln penny is not famous, it is not rare, it is not expensive, but it is meaningful. It teaches economics, history, education, citizenship, responsibility, identity, and continuity. It is a classroom in copper, a lesson in metal, a textbook in your hand. This is why coins matter beyond collecting. They are tools of education, tools of memory, tools of learning, tools of connection. The 1996 D penny reminds us that learning is everywhere, even in the smallest objects, even in the simplest coins, even in everyday life. It teaches that education is not limited to schools. It exists in culture, in systems, in history, in design, and in daily experiences. This coin may be small, but its educational value is big. It teaches how societies function, how economies operate, how history continues, how identity is preserved, how knowledge is passed forward. The 1996 D Lincoln penny is not just a coin, it is a lesson, a symbol, a teacher, a connection between generations. A piece of living education that moves through hands, lives, and time, and that is its real value, not in money, not in price, but in meaning. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny may look like a simple old coin, but in reality it is a powerful educational artifact that teaches history, economics, society, culture, and values all at once. This coin was minted in Philadelphia, which is why it carries no mint mark. Philadelphia is not just a city, it is the birthplace of American coinage, the foundation of the U.S. monetary system, and a symbol of national continuity. That alone makes this coin a living connection to American history. It represents a system that has survived wars, crises, revolutions, economic collapses, and technological changes. The no mint mark is not emptiness, it is identity. It tells a story of origin, tradition, and continuity. The year 1977 places this coin in a unique period of American history. The nation was recovering from economic challenges, social changes, and global transformations. Inflation was high, trust in institutions was being rebuilt, society was changing rapidly, and yet everyday life continued. People still worked, children still went to school, families still saved money, businesses still gave change, and the penny remained part of daily life. This teaches an important educational lesson: systems survive change. Stability is built through continuity. The Lincoln portrait on the front teaches leadership education. Abraham Lincoln represents honesty, discipline, learning, moral strength, and perseverance. He was not born into privilege. He was built through self-education, struggle, and character. That makes him one of the strongest educational symbols in American culture. When students look at this coin, they are not just seeing a face, they are seeing a lesson in growth through knowledge, a lesson in leadership through service, a lesson in integrity through hardship. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse teaches national memory and respect for history. It shows how nations preserve values through symbols. It teaches that history is not forgotten. It is carried forward through design. This coin becomes a bridge between generations. It connects the past to the present. The 1977 penny also teaches economic education. It moved through millions of hands every day. It connected workers, students, families, businesses, and communities. It shows how currency creates participation. It teaches that money is not just wealth, it is access. It allows people to be part of society regardless of status. This coin teaches economic inclusion, it teaches shared systems, it teaches trust, it teaches cooperation. The penny becomes a symbol of shared economy. It belongs to everyone. The 1977 no-mint mark penny also teaches production education. Students can learn how coins are minted, how large-scale manufacturing works, how quality control is maintained, and how national distribution systems operate. This coin becomes a lesson in industrial systems, logistics, engineering, and organization. It teaches how raw materials become national currency. It teaches how systems function behind the scenes. The coin also teaches material science. It is made primarily of copper, showing the older composition of U.S. pennies before later changes. This teaches resource management, economic adaptation, and material evolution. Students learn that currency changes based on cost, availability, and economic conditions. This coin also teaches financial literacy. For many children in the 1970s and 1980s, pennies were the first coins they saved. Piggy banks were filled with pennies. Collections started with pennies. This coin represents the beginning of financial education for millions of people. It teaches saving, patience, discipline, and responsibility. It teaches long-term thinking. It teaches accumulation. It teaches value through consistency. The 1977 penny also teaches humility. It is the smallest denomination, yet it plays an essential role. It teaches that small things matter in big systems, that progress is built through small steps, that success is built through accumulation, that systems are built from small parts. This is a deep educational philosophy. The coin teaches social education. It moved through communities, schools, markets, homes, and businesses. It connected people in everyday life. It shows how shared systems unify society. It teaches participation. It teaches cooperation. It teaches trust. It teaches belonging. The no-mint mark also teaches identity. It teaches origin. It teaches history. It teaches tradition. It teaches continuity. It shows how national institutions preserve their roots while evolving with time. The 1977 penny teaches time. What was once ordinary becomes historical. What was once daily life becomes memory. This teaches students that history is not distant, it is living, it is created every day, it is happening now. Today's objects become tomorrow's artifacts. This coin teaches that education exists beyond classrooms. It exists in culture. It exists in systems. It exists in objects. It exists in daily life. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny is not rare, it is not famous, it is not expensive, but it is meaningful. It is a classroom in copper, a lesson in metal, a story in design, a message in history, a symbol of continuity, a tool for learning, a reflection of society, teacher of values, a bridge between generations. It teaches economics, history, civics, leadership, responsibility, identity, and continuity. It teaches that small things matter, that systems survive through cooperation, that societies grow through shared value, that education is everywhere. This coin proves that learning is not limited to books. It lives in everyday objects. It lives in history. It lives in culture. It lives in design. It lives in systems. It lives in stories. The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny may be small in size, but it is large in meaning. Its true value is not in money, not in price, not in rarity, but in education, meaning, memory, and purpose. The 2015 D. Lincoln Shield penny may look like a modern coin, but in reality it is one of the most powerful educational symbols in modern American currency. It does not teach through ancient history or distant past. It teaches through meaning, symbolism, structure, and values. This coin represents unity, strength, protection, and national identity, all pressed into a small piece of metal that moves through everyday life. The shield on the reverse is not just a design, it is a message. A shield has always symbolized protection, defense, unity, and stability. In American history, the shield represents the nation itself, protected by shared values, laws, and unity. The 13 vertical stripes on the shield represent the original 13 colonies, reminding every generation that the nation was built on cooperation, not division. The horizontal bar across the top of the shield represents unity holding everything together. This is not decoration. This is education through symbolism. This coin teaches civics, it teaches national structure, it teaches how societies are built. The Lincoln portrait on the front teaches leadership education. Abraham Lincoln represents honesty, perseverance, learning, discipline, and moral strength. He was not born into power. He was built through education, self-study, struggle, and character. That makes this coin a lesson in personal development. It teaches that leadership is not inherited. It is created through learning and effort. When students look at this coin, they are seeing a lesson in character. The year 2015 places this coin in the modern world, a world of technology, digital systems, fast communication, and global economies. And yet physical money still exists. This teaches an important economic lesson. Even in a digital world, trust-based systems still matter. Currency still matters. Shared value systems still matter. The penny remains a symbol of participation in society. Everyone can use it, everyone can access it, everyone can hold it. This teaches equality in economic systems. It teaches shared access. It teaches inclusion. The D mint mark shows it was minted in Denver, which opens the door to industrial education. Students can learn how mints work, how coins are produced, how large-scale manufacturing systems function, and how quality control is managed. This coin becomes a lesson in production, engineering, logistics, and distribution. It teaches how raw materials become national currency. It teaches how systems operate behind the scenes. The shield penny also teaches material science. It is made of copper-plated zinc, not pure copper. This teaches economic adaptation. It teaches resource management. It teaches sustainability. It teaches that materials change based on cost, availability, and environmental needs. Students learn that money is not just symbolic but scientific and economic. The shield design teaches civic responsibility. It shows that nations protect their people and people protect their nations. It teaches mutual responsibility between citizens and government. It teaches balance between freedom and structure. This coin becomes a civics lesson in your hand. It teaches the idea of collective strength. One stripe alone is weak. Together they form a strong shield. This teaches social education, community strength, cooperation, unity, shared responsibility. The 2015 D Shield penny also teaches financial literacy. For many children, the penny is their first experience with money, their first saving, their first collection, their first understanding of value. This coin becomes a foundation for learning budgeting, saving, patience, and responsibility. It becomes a tool for teaching discipline and long-term thinking. It also teaches history continuity. The Lincoln design connects generations. Parents, grandparents, and children all recognize it. This continuity teaches national memory and shared identity. It teaches that symbols preserve culture. It teaches that design carries meaning across time. The penny also teaches humility. It is the smallest denomination. It reminds people that small things matter, that systems are built from small pieces, that progress is made through consistency, that value is not always about size. This is a deep educational philosophy. The 2015 D Shield penny also teaches citizenship. It moves through communities, businesses, schools, homes, and markets. It connects people in everyday life. It shows how shared systems unify society. It teaches participation. It teaches responsibility. It teaches trust. It teaches belonging. This coin also teaches preservation of history. Today it is ordinary. Tomorrow it becomes historical. This teaches students that history is being created every day, that today's objects are tomorrow's artifacts, that everyday life becomes future education. The 2015 D Shield penny is not rare, it is not expensive, it is not famous, but it is meaningful. It teaches more than many textbooks. It teaches value, it teaches systems, it teaches unity, it teaches leadership, it teaches citizenship, it teaches economics, it teaches history, it teaches responsibility. It teaches identity, it teaches cooperation, it teaches continuity, it teaches strength through unity, it teaches protection through structure, it teaches that nations are not built by power alone but by shared values. This coin is not just money, it is a lesson in metal, a classroom in copper, a textbook in zinc, a story in design, a message in symbolism, a bridge between past and present, a tool for education, a symbol of unity, a reminder of responsibility, a lesson in leadership. The 2015 D Lincoln Shield penny proves that education does not only live in schools, it lives in history, it lives in culture, it lives in everyday objects, it lives in symbols, it lives in stories, it lives in the smallest details of daily life. This coin teaches that even the smallest things can carry the biggest lessons, and that is its true value, not in money, not in price, not in market, but in meaning, education, and purpose. The 2011 No Mint Mark Lincoln Shield penny may look like just another modern coin, but in reality it is a powerful educational tool that teaches history, civics, economics, identity, unity, and responsibility all at once. This coin does not teach through age or rarity, it teaches through meaning, through symbolism, through structure, through everyday presence. The No Mint Mark tells us it was produced in Philadelphia, the birthplace of American coinage, the city where the foundations of the nation's monetary system were formed. That alone connects this coin directly to American history. It becomes a living continuation of a system that began over 2 centuries ago. This penny represents continuity. The idea that systems survive generations, that institutions evolve but values remain. The Lincoln portrait on the front teaches leadership education. Lincoln represents honesty, learning, discipline, humility, and moral strength. He was not born into privilege. He was built through self-education, effort, struggle, and character. That makes him one of the strongest educational symbols in American history. When students look at Lincoln's face on this coin, they are seeing a lesson in growth through learning, a lesson in leadership through service, a lesson in power through integrity. The shield on the reverse is not decoration, it is education. The shield symbolizes protection, unity, stability, and strength. The 13 vertical stripes represent the original 13 colonies, teaching the foundation of the nation. The horizontal bar across the top represents unity, holding everything together. This design teaches civics. It teaches how a nation is structured. It teaches that unity creates strength, that cooperation creates stability, that shared values create protection. This coin becomes a lesson in national structure and social responsibility. The 2011 Shield penny teaches that a country is not just land or borders. It is values, systems, trust, and unity. This coin also teaches economic education. It moves through millions of hands, connecting people in everyday transactions. It shows how currency creates participation, how even the smallest unit of money allows people to engage in the economy. Children, students, workers, families, and businesses all use the same system. This teaches equality in access, shared participation, economic inclusion. The penny becomes a symbol of belonging. The no mint mark teaches production education. Students can learn how mints operate, how coins are produced, how quality control works, and how national distribution systems function. It teaches logistics, manufacturing, engineering, and organization. This coin becomes a lesson in industrial systems. It also teaches material science. The coin is made of copper-plated zinc, showing how currency adapts to economic realities. Students learn that money is not just symbolic, it is scientific, it is engineered, it is designed for efficiency, cost, and sustainability. This teaches adaptation and innovation. The 2011 Shield penny teaches financial literacy. For many children, the penny is their first experience with money. Their first savings, their first collection, their first understanding of value. It becomes a tool for teaching budgeting, patience, discipline, and responsibility. It teaches that wealth is built slowly, that progress comes through consistency, that small efforts matter. It also teaches humility. The penny is the smallest denomination, yet it is essential. It teaches that small things matter in big systems, that systems are built from small parts, that progress comes from accumulation. This is a deep educational philosophy. The coin also teaches historical continuity. The Lincoln design connects generations. Parents recognize it, grandparents recognize it, children recognize it. This continuity teaches shared identity and national memory. It teaches cultural preservation. The 2011 penny also teaches citizenship. It moves through communities, schools, businesses, markets, and homes. It connects people through shared systems. It teaches responsibility, trust, and participation. It teaches that society functions because people cooperate. The shield design teaches collective strength. One stripe alone is weak. Together they form a strong structure. This teaches social education, community values, cooperation, unity, responsibility. The 2011 no mint mark shield penny also teaches time. Today it is ordinary, tomorrow it is history. This teaches that history is not distant, it is being created every day. That everyday objects become future educational artifacts, that ordinary life becomes historical memory. This coin teaches that education is everywhere, in objects, in systems, in culture, in design, in symbols, in everyday life. The 2011 Lincoln Shield penny is not rare, it is not expensive, it is not famous, but it is meaningful. It is a classroom in metal, a lesson in design, a story in structure, a message in symbolism, a bridge between past and present. A tool for learning, a symbol of unity, a lesson in leadership, a reminder of responsibility, a reflection of identity, a teaching instrument for economics, civics, history, and culture. This coin proves that education does not only live in books, it lives in objects, it lives in symbols, it lives in systems, it lives in daily life, it lives in the smallest details of society. The 2011 no mint mark Lincoln Shield penny teaches that even the smallest things can carry the biggest lessons. And that is its true value, not in price, not in market, not in rarity, but in meaning, education, and purpose.